There wasn't like a law.
Or whatever.
There was not a law on the book saying women couldn't work.
I know that.
Okay.
However, if you look at what was going on, it was not common for women to work. It was actually discouraged. You were seen as less than if you had a job such as that, because your entire job was supposed to be marrying a man and having children.
Do you think that women wanted to work back then, or did they want to build families?
They were taught to want to build families.
Is that a bad thing?
I mean, in the grand scope of what's happening in the world, then yeah. Everyone should have been taught to be equal. Men should take care of the family as much as women, and women should work, and so should men. Everyone should work. Women should have time off for giving birth and pushing a whole human out of them, for sure. But it shouldn't be a normalized thing that women shouldn't have to work at all, and men should only have to work, because if you enforce that, then companies only want to hire men and not women. And then women who don't have husbands are seen as less than a woman who has a husband or a man attached to her. And that just reinforces the entire idea of the patriarchy. Of course, women were able to work. They were seen as less than, they were paid less than, and they were like just discriminated against if they tried to work.
They were paid less because it wasn't as hard of a job as the men did.
Because they weren't allowed to have as hard of jobs.
Listen, if you...
No, wait, hold
sorry.
on. Women literally couldn't do the jobs.
They could, but they were not as allowed as.
Hold on. Do you think women have the same physical strength as men?
Right.
They could.
Yeah.
No.
Honey,
No.
Yeah, but
it's physically known that.
Here, tilt your mic down, please. Tilt your mic down.
But in today's world, strength doesn't even matter. We have machines.
But your claim was about historical work,
Okay.
where physical strength.
Coal mining, women can do that. Building, women can do that.
Hold on, no. Women don't have the requisite general strength to do a lot of these professions. If it was true, if men and women's physical strength was equal, then they would be in these positions.
Women have to work harder to gain more muscle. That is true. It's easier for men to gain muscle and be stronger. However,
okay, go ahead.
In the coal mines, in the buildings, in whatever, women can still have jobs there. Not everything is based off of physical strength.
Are machines not taking over men and women's jobs?
Well, we're talking about before machines, right?
You're talking historically,
but
a lot of this machinery still today that makes physical labor easier still requires a degree of physical strength to operate.
But you think
like a
women
jackhammer,
can't have physical strength?
Instead of swinging a pickaxe to like break up stones, we have like jackhammers, but it requires physical strength to hold the jackhammer, to keep it steady, etc.
And are you saying women are incapable of having physical strength?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that generally speaking, and I'm assuming you're going to agree with me on this, generally speaking, men are stronger than women, descriptively.
In science, men are able to gain more muscle mass than women.
They're just naturally stronger than women.
However, if a woman puts her mind to it and tries very hard, she could still have a job similar to a man's.
And how many
could withstand more pain?
Why is transgender athletes such a controversy now if you think men and women have equal physical strength?
Well, I don't think transgender should be in a women's sport at all.
Yeah, that's definitely everyone's opinion. But the reason why it's such a controversial topic is because these transgender women, they still have more physical strength because they were born as men. So
she was right. It's depending on when they decided to transition. If they transitioned at a certain time, they never developed those men aspects, and they always develop only women aspects.
I mean,
I know a lot of trans women.
If a man starts transitioning at 11, they don't have the male physical strength that gives them an advantage in some sort of a sport.
I mean, I would probably dispute this because my position on this is that the sole difference between men and women is not exclusively relegated to the endocrine system. So what you're talking about is if they're taking puberty blockers.
Okay.
But like there's skeletal differences, there's other differences like lung capacity, for example. So again, even if they do transition at a younger age, yes, that will have some impact on the musculoskeletal system, but there are still going to be certain differences between like a
Trans women are more women and more feminine than any woman in this room. Like they take their womanisms very seriously.
womanisms. What is
they
that?
take being like a feminine like a fucking job. Most women don't even care about like looking as
So
feminine.
are you gonna argue that trans women are more women, like they're better women than women? So you're saying men are better women than men?
Yeah, because they know exactly what
You're
a man
gonna have
wants.
to wrap your head around that one. So are men better women than women?
My sister is more manlier than my trans friend. My trans friend is more feminine, more ladylike, more in her feminine aspect of her life
But I
than
don't think-
any like.
A transgender is not more feminine and more
also-
woman than I am.
We are talking about physical strength here. Physical appearance, like how nice your skin is, doesn't have to do anything with how you can excel in a sport.
Yeah, my
not
trans
relevant.
friend would never even try to join a sport because she never like wanted to compete like
I
that.
believe Brian was talking about the muscle mass and the lung capacity.
And I know a large percentage of American men who only play video games can barely do a sit-up, let alone a pull-up, and they're
Okay,
tech
hold
people.
on.
Can you
Look,
do a sit-up or a
I
pull-up?
don't know what we're talking.
Yes, I can. I
I
was
know.
a gymnast for
It's
most
all
of my
over.
life.
I don't know
I'm
what
a
we're
burlesque
talking
dancer,
about
I do
right
aerial
now.
I think we're just going on
we
some
gotta
tangents.
stop. Here's what we have to do though. We can't like always go to the exception. I'm gonna sit here and agree with you. There are definitely individual women who are way stronger than men who could beat up men. But what I'm talking about is, if we're just talking about generalities, the majority of men are stronger than the majority of women.
Yeah.
It's biology.
So yes, is there like are there women out there who are stronger?
If you
There's
pulled
women
12
there's women who are
students
stronger than me.
off the street and asked them to do a fitness test, do I think that women might perform better than men currently? Possibly. As in, if you pull 12 random people, 6 men, 6 women, and ask them to do a fitness test, I've met a lot of out-of-shape men recently. So I'm saying I think women take care of themselves in their youth because they know that they're supposed to be attractive for men.
Boy.
And there's a lot of men that have gone into very lazy professions where physical work isn't part of what they do.
Somebody over here wanted to weigh in, or
I just wanted to say something quickly. I think that Brian is pointing at, this side is pointing at exceptions to the rule. But in general, let's say the coal mines today, not time before. If we have today the coal mines, like back then, and we have,
Today or back then?
let's say today because I'm not going to talk about
So the coal mines in 2025.
Yes, no, I'm not talking about like values. I'm talking about strength.
Okay.
Let's say today you put a man, a 30-year-old man and a 30-year-old woman, healthy, without exceptions, 100% healthy, to go work at the coal mines. Let's see how many buckets of coal the men can bring out in 2 hours and how many buckets of coal can the woman bring.
Depends if they were taught how to work the machine.
No, that's what I'm saying. From zero, they just learn, healthy. The man is going to do more because it's biologically proven, scientifically proven. If I am the owner of that mine, I'm going to pay more than man because he brings 30 buckets and the woman brings 25 maybe. And I think that's the difference. It's not because the man is better. It's scientifically, biologically, it is what it is, so he's going to get paid better. Now, as a work as a woman, nothing comes to my mind that a woman is better doing it. I don't know, I have to think about it. Maybe the woman is getting paid better. But I don't see that as being underestimated. It's who gives more, who works better.
I think we're talking about the third variable. As I minored in sociology, you need 3 variables to be able to judge someone. So you can't just judge someone on man, woman, and their job. You need a third variable.
what's the third variable?
Like race, class, and gender. You can't just judge someone off race and class.
Wait,
You need 3 variables to draw a conclusion. Minimum.
but hold on. Why would you need? Okay, if the question
As in
is
stereotypes in America.
But stereotype. If the question is
We're stereotyping
who is
who's
physically stronger on average, men or women, what would the third variable, like what's the third variable needed to
Do they
determine
work out?
that?
Do they not work
Okay,
out?
so let's
An
say
obese
No.
man versus a fit
Bro,
man.
it would-
Wait, let's
A
say
tall man
let's
versus a
say
short
that
man.
a man and a woman are twins. They're born at the same time. They work out. They have the same eating schedule, same workout schedule. The man is going to get stronger than the woman. That is true
and that-
because
Yes.
of biology.
She's correct.
However, does that mean that a woman is less than the man? No.
That's not what we're talking about, though.
Okay.